What's going on, YouTube? Dorito here. We got ourselves the Tal Motor Baja 200 Sport Go-Kart. It's a 170cc GY6 engine. We're going to change the oil on it today. And all you guys actually need is a 17mm socket for the drain plug, an 8mm socket for all the nuts here for the rock guard. And you just drop down the rock guard, drop the drain plug, and fill up the oil. So we're going to go ahead and get that done. I got a camera underneath here to show you guys exactly how to do it and get it done. But it takes only a few minutes. I put it up here on the truck for two reasons. One, so you guys can see down here with the camera. And two, well, you know, it's a lot easier for me. So anyways, without any further ado, let's get on with it. Shall we? City workers. So anyways, let's go ahead and do this here. You got yourself the 8mm socket. What you want to do is you want to drop all these. Fairly easy. The nuts are welded to the frame, so you don't have to worry about holding the nut on each side, unless of course you bottom out and you break the nut or you bend or something like that. But that's all, you know, that's on you after that point. So while I am under here, I am going to be checking to see if there's anything loose, seeing as we've already taken it for a ride after we put it together, and we want to see if there's anything that's come loose. I did notice on the front end there is a couple adjustments for camber. The nuts did come a little loose. Now, we did not check those. We did not tighten those up. I do strongly recommend you do tighten up everything and check everything over as we do. We had done one of these before, so we was in a hurry and we was excited. Don't get in a hurry. Don't get excited. It only takes a few minutes to go over the nuts and bolts on these things. All right? Okay, so we got the rock guard down. As you guys can see, pulled a little bit of stuff off there. What this does is this keeps, as you guys can see, the scrapings on there. That'll keep stuff from going up into your sprocket, into your brake rotor as well. Keep things a little bit nicer. So we'll set that aside. And those are those. They're 2, 4, 6, 8 8mm bolts. So now that we got those down, we're good to go. A little bit of shavings in my fingers there. That's one thing about rubber gloves. Alrighty, so we got an extension. And what we're going to do is we're going to get up here. We might need to use a second extension as well. So let's go ahead and do that. Shove it. And you're going to get up under here. As you guys can see, when I remove the rock guard, you have that access straight up right here. And we'll go down to the other camera over here. As you can see, the access is straight up here. And this is where it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get this under here. We'll swap out extensions. We'll go with the short extension. Get under there. Get your 17mm. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. There we go. Get that in there. This is going to cooperate. There we go. Get it on loose. Okay. So you want to loosen it up. Now keep in mind with these things as well, we got a little bit of wind going on, that might cause a problem. Keep in mind with these as well that they're spring loaded, okay? So you want to pull your dipstick as well to give it a good chance to drain. Set that on down. Now I'm hoping we don't get any oil flying in anywhere because the wife will kill me. And some people, hey, maybe you hope that'll happen. But let's go ahead and do this. Get the drain plug. Now keep in mind there is a spring and there's also a screen, which is your filter basically. And that is in here. So when you pull it, there's going to be a little bit of tension. You want to let it drop on out. As you guys can see, there's the drain plug. Okay. There's the spring. Okay. And I'll show you guys that a little closer in a minute once I get this oil taken down. And then up inside there will be the filter, or the screen. Okay? Now, that screen will drop down into your spring. Okay? So that's basically how this is going to set up. You're going to go like this. Just like that setup here. That's how it's going to be going back. And I'll walk over and show it to the other camera here so you guys can see it as well. Let me put this up here. Make sure I got you guys. Okay, as you can see, we got the drain plug, the spring, and the screen. they all set just like this, and they go down, okay? So once you got that done, you make sure you're not getting any oil anywhere, because your wife is going to kill you if you do, okay? So you're going to get a little blow by there. So you want to really kind of get it drained up as quick as possible. In my case, make sure there's no oil going anywhere. That's what we have extra rags for, and messy rags, people. So we can make sure that we don't get anything where it's not supposed to be. Okay? So I think we're almost drained out. Now, once you've done that, wipe up a little bit, make sure it's nice, and then I got some brake clean, which I'm going to show you guys as well. I'm going to use to go ahead and get the rest of this stuff cleaned out. But anyways, now that we've got it all drained out, maybe give it a little shake. See if there's anything else in there. Looks pretty good to go, wouldn't you say, people? Anyways, you get your drain plug, your spring with the smaller end into the drain plug, and then your screen on top, drop down in there. Just like that, okay? All right. So then what you want to do after that, and this is a little tricky. It might take you guys a couple times to do it, but you want to go ahead and put it all in one shot. Okay, hold on a second here. All in one shot. Then, this is the tricky part. It's getting it threaded with the spring in there and getting it threaded right. So you just got to play with it a little bit, and then you'll get it. Once you hand tighten it up, you don't want to completely tighten it all the way up, because if you add too much oil, you might want to drain some oil. So what you want to do is you want to leave your pan there. Okay? You want to leave your drain plug hand tight, which we'll get up there and make sure it's nice and snug. Okay? And then you want to get your oil ready. Now, the kind of oil I'm using is I'm using a 1030. Actually, it is a STP 10W30. We're going to use that in there and put it. It's a regular oil. This is not like a motorcycle where I recommend you use motorcycle oil only. These GY6s take a regular oil. Some people recommend 1540. A lot of people recommend 1540. With me, I'm going to go with the 1030. Now, I did run it for a while. You guys, as you'll see, we have taken them out and everything like that. We already changed the oil on George's, and I'm doing a video on this one to change it as well. Now, I did notice just now, you guys got to keep a good eye on this. I don't know if you can see this here, but right here on the sprocket, there's a loose bolt. You want to make sure and go over everything while you're here and check it all out and make sure everything's tight, because like I said, George and I went out, we took them for a very good ride, okay? And saying that, you want to make sure and check everything after your first ride. It's always good to make sure everything's nice and tight and check it before you go out. Simple as that. So anyways, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go over a few of these bolts here off the camera and tighten them all up and show you guys after that. But I'll put the oil in and we'll get that done. So addressing right now, as I see, you got some axle bolts you got to tighten up, which is fine. That's understandable. I'm a heavier guy. There was two heavier guys in this riding it. So, once you get it and you assemble it, you want to go over it again. Okay, so anyways, let's get the funnel there. Let's put some oil in it. And I'm going to start off with just a half a quart. I know it takes 3/4 of a quart, but I don't want to overfill. I want to underfill at first, check it, and then top it off. Okay? So, got my handy dandy funnel here. Your fill nozzle is up here on the top. And you guys can see where it is, where your dipstick goes. Yes, I said dipstick. And you can go ahead and drop that in there. But in my case, like I said, I got this little snazzy funnel. But you know what? We'll just do it this way. We'll take that out and just drop it on in there. Okay. Perfect. Let's get my Earl. Like I said, using some STP. And it varies. You guys can use Valvoline. You can use whatever oil you want to use. I just like a good oil. I like Valvoline as well. I did want to get Mobile, but just didn't come across it. So anywho, let's get this done here. Okay, it's just at the very top hash mark. I'm gonna go ahead and call it good right there until I get it down, take it for a quick drive, and then I'll check it again and top it up. But what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna go over some bolts. I see a couple bolts or I see one bolt that's loose here. I'm gonna check my e-brake bolt as well, make sure that's all tight, and just check all my other bolts while I am under here and make sure that I get everything tightened up. All right? So anyways, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I'm gonna shut the camera off, and then I'll turn it back on in a few minutes and get right back to you guys, okay? So, all right, we're back. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna tighten up the drain plug. I did check the axle, tightened up everything back here, checked everything else. There was a couple loose bolts here on the axle. I did tighten them up, or actually on the sprocket. They are nylon lock nut on there. Just check them, tighten them up every once in a while. That was the only thing I noticed. The brake caliper bolts are fine. And now that's under torque. So initially it was on there. We didn't tighten it up. We didn't check it because it was already tightened. So, you know, again, you should go over every single bolt on these before you drive. So anyways, let's go ahead and get the darn drain plug tightened up. We've got enough oil in it for now. We have 3/4 of a quart. That's what it calls for. And so that's what I have in there. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten up the drain plug. There we go. I want to make sure that drain plug is tight. I got a 17mm wrench as well. I'm going to put that on there just to make sure. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but a line wrench is always the best way to go when it comes to making sure everything's snugged up. There we go. Okay, so we got that snugged up. Perfecto. Now what we want to do is we want to take the 8mm bolts, our skid plate. Now you want to make sure that you put it up appropriately. It's pretty obvious how it goes up and the position that it does go up into. You want to take your 8mm bolts, put them in their respective holes, give them a little snug up. There we go. That's a little bit better for me. We'll get that one last since it fought me some. I'll be back to you in a minute. Yeah, overall, this is really a great cart. I love the way it handles. It's fun. It's really a fun cart. You want to get your family into stuff like this, I'd say check one out. They're not too bad priced. I believe they are out already. They should be out pretty quick. It's the Talmotor Baja 200 Sport Go-Kart. And this thing is really a kick in the shorts, even for your kiddo or your adult. And you guys see the Triton, that thing runs like a bat out of head. That's really, really a fun cart. It's really, really pretty quick. And as you guys will see in some video, Luch went to town on it and had a lot of fun. So, you know, keep your eye out for a lot of cool stuff coming from Talmotor. They got a lot of nifty carts coming out. They got some real cool four-wheelers coming out and some dirt bikes. They got some new dirt bikes coming out. I did just hear through the grapevine about some dirt bikes from them. So keep your eye out for that. All right. Okay. So there you have it. We checked the sprocket, made sure everything was tight down there. We changed the oil, which took 3/4 of a quart of oil. We checked all the bolts on the back end. What we're going to do now is I'm going to end this video right now, but I'll end up getting it off the ramps and I'll check the front end and tighten up these, the camber in the front. I'll take a little shot of that for you guys and put that in the video as well. But anyways, overall, that's what it takes. You drain the oil. You drop the skid plate, drain the oil, put the oil back in, put the drain plug back in. 3/4 of a quart of oil is the approximate. I mean, don't quote me on that. Check it. Put in a 1/2 quart, and then top it off after you run it a little bit. Put your skid plate back up. check everything, set it down, you're ready to go. So I want to thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and comment below and let us know. I know it's not as slapstick as we always do, but I'm here by myself. I don't have any Luke or any George. But we will be doing some more videos off-road, and we will be doing a lot more stuff. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to come back to Dorito and the Lucha Cabre. Peace!